type of weather we expect in January in Baltimore?
Nope, we just had a very light dusting yesterday into last night. So it's low 40s today and then 60s on Saturday. Go figure. That is our playoff weather, but it won't be too. I mean, I'll be there. I'll be there, so it won't be freezing my tuchus off. There won't be any rain to factor into it, so that'll be nice. But looking forward to it. Should be a fun game.
I got to tell you, the one thing the Ravens do after every score at home is they flash those lights, and it's a really freaky effect on television. I don't know what it's like in the stadium, but I got to tell you, on TV, I'm like, whoa, somebody give me a warning that I could have a seizure or something.
Yeah, I think the Chargers started doing that last year. That at soccer stadium, they started doing that effect. And the first time was the Patriots game this year, and it really catches you off guard. It's cool, and it's definitely cool in the stadium. But yeah, it definitely catches you off guard. It's very trippy at first.
All right. Well, best of luck to you, Don. I have a feeling we're going to be talking to you for a little longer in regards.
I would love to talk to you all the way through February. That sounds great.
I have a feeling that's probably going to be the case, but
yep.
We will see, and we'll hear you on the recap show.
All right. Thanks, Pod.
So there you go, guys. We are obviously both taking the Ravens. I feel bad, as I can't say that I'm the Titans superfan as much as I'm the Titans redheaded stepchild, but really the Ravens redheaded stepchild too.
We couldn't get Ron to step in for that. I mean, he loves the quarterback.
That's true. I probably should have employed Ron to tell us why the Titans have a chance to beat the Ravens, but I don't think they do. I just don't think they have what they need on defense to match up, and they have a big injury in their linebacking core, James.
Yeah, Jayon Brown, linebacker, has a shoulder injury, and Kamalia Correa also has an injury as well. Cornerback Adoree Jackson didn't participate this week in practice due to a foot injury. On the offensive side of the ball, Dion Lewis is nursing a shoulder injury. Adam Humphries has an ankle injury, and guard Nate Davis also shows up on the injury report. For the Baltimore Ravens, Mark Ingram is still dealing with that calf. He was limited in practice, and tight end Mark Andrews, has an ankle injury. So that's two big weapons on Baltimore's offense. But, they pretty much deploy three running backs and three tight ends anyway. So Jackson will have his pick, and all those guys at each of those positions respectively get the job done.
Neil is going with the Baltimore Ravens, as am I, as was obviously Don. But, James, I don't know who you're picking.
Yeah, I'm going to roll with the home teams in both these games on Saturday, both the Niners previously and the Ravens here. Look, these guys had a week off. They saw extra film on their opponents. They should be gamed up and ready to go. Simulating Lamar Jackson in practice is impossible. There's always a guy pretty much every 10 years or so that comes to the league, and teams are like, well, how do we scout this guy? Let's go out and get somebody off the street from a practice squad.
Hey,
try to
it's
simulate
easy.
them in practice. It never works.
It's easy, James. All you do, James, is get a wide receiver to do it. Come on.
Yeah, that's no, because look, we have this problem right now with Lamar Jackson. They had it with Michael Vick when he first came into the league. It was a problem with Robert Griffin III during his rookie season. It was a problem with McNabb during his first full year as a starter. I mean, any quarterback with any threatening running ability to just basically bolt from the pocket and take it 20 to 40 yards upfield in like 5 seconds is a danger, and there's no way to scout for that. And teams have tried in vain over the last 20 or so years that we've seen these bevy of quarterbacks come out and succeed well. You can't simulate this in practice. Mm-hmm. You bring a guy in for a week to pretty much run the scout team offense just like like you're going to play, in this case, Lamar Jackson, and you can't simulate the speed, what he's going to do, what he's thinking. You just can't do it. You have to be ready for any and everything, and you're still unprepared.
I think also you got to take into consideration with this game is the week off, or what basically ends up being like 2 weeks off, just about, doesn't it, in terms of days for the Ravens, who obviously are a big physical team, who like to run, who like to move the ball that way, and in defense they're tough run stopping team. They'll have really appreciated this time off, and they'll be even stronger, ready to go. Like you guys, I mean, I don't see the Tennessee Titans doing much yet, unless they can go toe to toe with them in the running game, which is a possibility with Derrick Henry. But I just think at the end of the day, the Ravens will just get 1 or 2 drives more and start to wear down the Tennessee Titans.
I did see a weird stat. It's one of those. It's one of my crazy stats that signify absolutely nothing. But there have been 3 other times that the top rushing team has met the top rusher in the playoffs. And all 3 of those times, the top rusher won the matchup. So the Baltimore Ravens are the top rushing team. The Titans have the top rusher in Derrick Henry.
Yeah, now listen, you try and get that sort of insight somewhere else.
Well, I got it straight from the NFL. So pretty much anyone that's using the NFL communications.
Really? I was always under the impression you made those things up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. They just come to me off the top of my head.
That's right.
I'm a walking encyclopedia of NFL knowledge, especially on those 1920 teams. Man.
I mean, I can tell you one thing. This would be the first time in the NFL history that a team in purple would get to the Super Bowl if the Ravens do it.
Trevor's in purple. What is your issue?
Do you think?
By the way, the Ravens have won the Super Bowl a couple of times.
I know. I was just making it up. Do you think the Tennessee Titans, or if the Tennessee Titans are going to win, realistically, what has to happen?
Tannehill has to be a factor positively to keep them 7 in the box on defense. He has to. The moment they put 8 in the box, he has to make plays to keep them honest on defense. And they need to be nice little chunk plays to threaten to say, okay, we can't load up 8 in the box because we're lacking in coverage. If he makes mistakes passing the ball, look, 7-3 during the regular season. He didn't screw it up last week against New England. Matter of fact, I think he only had 75 yards passing on 7 to 15 completions. So, look, again, he can't win the game, but he can absolutely lose it.
All right.
What about? I do have one question, Jay. We just related to the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. Are you going to be one of these crackpot New England fans who claim that Vrabel comes from the Belichick tree?
He does.
He does not.
Yes, he comes from the Belichick tree.
If you told me he came from a little shrub next to the Belichick tree, I could let you go. But no, he didn't coach under Belichick.
He didn't coach under Belichick.
Doesn't matter. He learned under Belichick. That's where his coaching began. He was an on-the-field coach.
Next game, please. Sunday, starting at 3.
What tree are you going to put him under? Are you putting him under Urban Meyer's tree, or are you going to put him under Bill O'Brien's tree?
Sunday at 3:30-ish. Who do we got?
Bill O'Brien's got a little bonsai tree.
Well, he does, because apparently Vrabel is part of his coaching branch. Sunday, it's actually 3:05, James.
Excuse me, 3:05. Thank you. I knew it was 3-something.
It is the Houston Texans at the Kansas City Chiefs. This game will be on CBS. This is your Jim Nantz, Tony Romo game. By the way.
Why is it 5 minutes past 3?
Because they're stupid. I don't know. All these games are weird kickoff times. 4:35 on NBC, 8:15 on CBS.
The crazy thing is, when you turn on your TV and you expect a game to start at 4 o'clock, for example, yeah? And that's the official kickoff time. It never starts till about 10 past.
Right. Yeah.
Why? Why is that?
They're getting more commercials in.
Jeez.
That
does my head in that.
No.
Texans at Chiefs. The Chiefs finished the season third in our power rankings. The Texans finished ninth. The Chiefs are favored by 9.5. This is the biggest point spread of the weekend. And this is Houston James along with Nick, our Kansas City Chiefs superfan.
And next up, we have the Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Houston Texans in Arrowhead for the AFC side of the divisional round. And I am your Kansas City Chiefs superfan, Nick. I am here with James, our Texans superfan. How you doing, James?
Doing well, Nick. Second round of the playoffs, or I guess first round technically for you. Always fun to have the most entertaining game of Wild Card Weekend, I guess, especially when you come out on the winning side.
Yeah, I mean, it was actually a pretty entertaining Wild Card Weekend, and I think some of these matchups are going to be fun too. It was a lot of defensive struggles in the first round of the playoffs. I don't think this one's going to be a defensive struggle. And, these two teams did meet earlier in the year. The Texans won in Arrowhead that time, 31-24. But I just think a lot has changed since then. I mean, I think the big feature there is it started off as a bit of a shootout, but the Chiefs basically took a 1-point lead with 6:30 left to go in the third quarter, and basically just the offense sputtered and nothing else happened, and the Texans were able to pull it back from there. The Chiefs just only had the ball twice after that, and it was just 2 3-and-outs, and the Texans ran Carlos Hyde essentially to the victory there. This was a game where on the Chiefs side they were missing their left tackle, they were missing Chris Jones. They're missing Sammy Watkins, I believe, and Tyreek Hill had just come back from injury, and they had him on a bit of a pitch count, although he did make a pretty big impact in the game still. A lot has changed since then in terms of the Chiefs' defense has really had a rebound. But I imagine, quite a bit is different, for the Texans side of the ball as well. You've had J.J. Watt get injured and come back from injury. But I imagine there's some other stuff on that side too.
Yeah, there's some things there for sure. One of the things you also forgot to mention is that was right in the middle, or maybe even the first week or two of when the hobbling of Patrick Mahomes. And so going back to that game from mid-October, there were a lot of opportunities there where you saw Patrick Mahomes, look around, pocket coming in on him, and traditionally he would either step up in the pocket, move around a little bit, go to the outside, throw with his left hand, all the standard stuff that Patrick Mahomes does, but he just could not get out and do that. And so that definitely benefited the Texans defense on that front. The Texans at that point were also really struggling in the secondary. It's not like everything has been solved. However, they did do quite a good job when good Josh Allen was in the game last week. And so it'll definitely be interesting to see. As you mentioned, Tyreek Hill was limited on his snaps that week, did not stop him from getting 2 touchdowns. In fact, he helped the Chiefs get up by 10 points before 5 minutes had even come off the game clock. To your point, that was a very wild game, very fun game, but probably nothing real predictive of what's going to happen here on Sunday.
Yeah, and one of the big things, as I mentioned, is just the Chiefs' defense is almost an entirely different unit now in terms of the way it's playing as opposed to the first half of the season. I mean, if you look at the first half of the season splits versus the second half, I mean, it's totally night and day. I mean, they finished 6th in defensive DVOA against the pass, and and they really had some big guys emerge, and it wasn't just things clicking, guys communicating better. I think Spagnuolo, who always loves to do really complicated blitzes and coverages and a lot of disguising, I think it seemed like he was running his defense fairly vanilla the first half and just making sure guys knew where they were supposed to be. And it was the second half of the season when he started unlocking kind of everything and allowing them to just do all the stuff, and he could trust them to make sure they were doing it correctly. And it's gotten to the point where, the cornerback group was considered to be, I think by most Chiefs fans, including myself, to be the biggest glaring weakness on this team, and you would think that that's going to be a huge problem against a team like the Texans with not only Nuke Hopkins but with Will Fuller, seemingly possibly going to be back in this game. Travarius Ward has emerged as a solid corner. I mean, he's top 3 in basically every category in terms of passer rating against. He was first in the league. I think completion percentage against was first in the league, and top 3 and other stuff like yards and all that kind of stuff per target. And he's like an undrafted guy from a year ago who really came on strong this year. And it's really been their safeties. Tyrann Mathieu halfway through the season is now, basically the second half of the season was the best safety in the league. He's moving around all over the place. And the way that they've basically designed the back half of this defense is just the perimeter guys are going to be perimeter guys. You're going to have Ward and Brees